All right, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for uh, attending today's Memorandum of Understanding Update Committee meeting. I'm going to read the notice of non-discrimination. You are invited to participate in our transportation planning process, regardless of your race, color, national origin, including limited English proficiency, religion, creed, gender, and ancestry, ethnicity, disability, age, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, veteran status, or background. Next page. The accessibility statement. This meeting is accessible to people with disabilities. Zoom products are compliant with exceptions with the following standards: Web Content Accessibility Guidelines 2.1, Level AA standards, and revised Section 508 standards. If you require any additional accommodations in order to participate fully in this meeting, or if you have any technical difficulties, please contact Lauren McGee, MPO staff at lmagee@ctps.org or 857-702-3706 or via the chat box. Guidelines. All participants will join the meeting with muted microphones. Please rename yourself to include your first name, last name, and affiliation. After roll call, board members may mute and unmute themselves. Always remain muted unless actively speaking. To participate in the discussion, please select the raise hand function. Find this by clicking either on the participants button at the bottom of the screen, and a window will pop up with a raise hand button at the bottom, or the reactions button in the toolbar. The chair will then call on participants. If you are on the phone, you can use *9 to raise your hand. In introductions, Laura, do you want to call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Intercore Committee.
Tom Bent, City of Somerville, Intercore.
MBTA Advisory Board.
Hannah Switlakowski, Deputy Director, MBTA Advisory Board.
Metro West Regional Collaborative. MassDOT Seat 1.
Sorry.
Is anyone else able to? Oh,
yep. Derek Cravat here from MassDOT Planning. Sorry for the headset adjustment.
No,
thank you.
No worries. MassDOT Seat 2.
MassDOT C2, John Romano. Yeah.
MAPC.
Good afternoon, Eric Barassa with MAPC.
Advisory Council.
Leonard Diggins, Advisory Council here.
City of Boston. Oh, Genro is joining just now. I'll circle back. Town of Brookline.
Brookline, Mike Sandman until 1:35 p.m.
Okay, thank you. And I'll circle back to City of Boston.
Hi, sorry for the delay. I'm Jen Rowe. I'm a regional planner with the City of Boston and representing Mayor Wu.
Great. That's the role, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Today's agenda, the first item number 1 is action item meeting minutes. Not sure, is it Dave or Lauren going to go through those? Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I missed the, on my agenda, it has public comments second. So why don't I go to public comments first? If there's anyone in the audience that have any public comments, you can please ask them now. Or during the discussion, if you raise your hand and if all other members have asked questions, I will then call on you. So do we have any public comments today? Okay, I'm not seeing any. So we'll go on to the action item, which would be the approval of the July 10th, 2024 MOU Update Committee meeting minutes. Jen Rowe.
I'll make a motion to approve the July 10th MOU Update Committee meeting minutes.
Second.
And we have a second?
Second, yep.
Okay. Lauren, you want to call the roll?
Tom Bent,
Yes.
Hannah Switkowski,
Yes.
Derek Cravat,
Derek Cravat, yes.
John Romano,
John Romano, yes.
Eric Barassa,
Eric Barassa, yes.
Leonard Diggins,
Diggins, yes.
Jen Rowe,
Jen Rowe, yes.
and Mike Sandman.
Mike Sandman, yes.
Okay. That motion carries, Mr. Chair.
Great. So we'll go to action item number 4, which is the approval of the July 17th, 2024 MOU update committee meeting minutes. I need a motion. Jen Rowe. Thank you, Jen.
No problem. I'll motion to approve the July 17th MOU update committee meeting minutes.
And I'll second that, Eric Barassa.
All right. Thanks, Eric. Lauren, the roll.
Tom Bent,
Yes.
Hannah Switkowski,
Yes.
Derek Cravat,
Derek Cravat, yes.
John Romano,
John Romano, yes.
Eric Barassa,
Eric Barassa, yes.
Len Diggins,
Diggins, yes.
Jen Rowe,
Jen Rowe, yes.
and Mike Sandman.
Mike Sandman, yes.
Okay. That motion carries as well, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Lauren. Go to action number 5. Approval of the August 7th, 2024 MOU update committee meeting minutes. I need a motion, Jen.
Sure, Tom. I will motion to approve the August 7th MOU update committee meeting minutes.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
All right. Thanks, Hannah. Lauren, the roll.
Tom Bent,
Yes.
Hannah Switkowski,
Yes.
Derek Cravat,
Derek Cravat, yes.
John Romano,
John Romano, yes.
Eric Barassa,
Eric Barassa, yes.
Diggins,
Diggins, yes.
Jen Rowe,
Jen Rowe, yes.
and Mike Sandman.
Mike Sandman, yes.
That motion carries as well. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, great. We're going to go to, looks like item number 6, which is the MOU public comment summary. And David, you handling that?
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you to the committee for bearing through the meeting minute approvals and making the time today to go through potentially one of our last MOU or our last MOU update committee meeting. To give you line of sight, I'll do a presentation on a few items that are listed here, and then we will transition to a brief debrief, which we'll use a retrospective tool to do so, one that Jen had shared through and used during the TIPper committee meeting. And so without ado, if we go to the next slide, I believe, the MOU public comment period ran from August 16th and concluded on September 6th. During that time, we received one public comment through the Government Affairs Officer, Tyler Tracy, at the Metro West Regional Transit Authority, which has been reviewed, agreed upon, and incorporated into the MOU revision as shown here, as well as posted. I'll actually read through swiftly. This section says, reiterating the MPO's commitment to work with state and public transportation operators to develop financial plans, and specifically that this cooperation shall include the sharing of data and performance targets, highlighted in yellow, was added, included in the RTA's PAN and Public Transportation Agency safety plans. This process already occurs, and it's good to capture within the MOU. And so therefore, thank you for your suggestion. Before we move on to the next slide, any questions, concerns, or comments? Let us move to the next slide, please. If I may, Mr. Chair, I will continue through the MOU Update Committee's work plan, completion, and next steps. So here, We go to the next slide. And then the next. To highlight the committee's accomplishments over the last 9 months, and for those who've been part of the ad hoc committee farther than that, we have together updated sections of the MOU pertaining to all of the 6 work modules presented on the screen. And through the process of doing this together, fine-tuned workflows that are practical and talk through and negotiated ones that needed modification along with several agencies. Of note, the committee has facilitated the addition of the RTA's board representation by bringing this to the board. And staff are already looking at ways to operationalize the operations plan in bringing more timely project information to the board throughout the year in close collaboration with interagency partners to include the MBTA, MassDOT Highway, and the RTAs as well. So please stay tuned. We're working to look at tools and to pull that data, and so we'll have a further update through the full board. If we go to the next slide. With the conclusion of the public comment period on September the 6th, staff will now begin collecting member signatures over the next three plus weeks or so. For board members here, if you could please keep an eye out for a DocuSign email, and please give anyone whose review is critical to signing it a heads up within the next couple of days that it's coming, so that you have legal review where required or review by official MPO representative to whom you are a delegate or a designee. I'll repeat the same, or rather, Tom, the chair, will have a very similar message in the chair's report, and I will reiterate it in our next board meeting as well. If you do have direct approval authority, even better on the signature. The latest deadline for signatures will be by the October 24th MPO meeting approximately. And if you do have challenges, constraints, or require additional time, please reach out to me just to let me know. Before we do move on, I know I moved through that quite swiftly. Do committee members have any questions? All right.
Yeah, not seeing
Move
any.
on to the next item. Okay, so to get granular on dates, today, or rather September 19th, MPO will vote to, I'll make a correction there, it's vote to approve the revised MOU. And within the committee chair report, just kind of mirroring what I've just highlighted in terms of thinking about how to add ink to the MOU revisions. And then in the month of October, we'll use that to provide the board with a bit more line of sight as to what we've been doing here at the committee, which is in tandem with the MOU also, adding revisions to the ops plan, transferring certain texts that are more appropriate for the ops plan than the MOU, as well as adding interagency collaboration items. So then on October 24th, allowing a period of comment, we'll highlight anything that comes in terms of input and then ask to vote that out. And second bullet is just on the signatures. November 14th is when this will be put into action, and new board members will be announced on the day of the annual MPO meeting. And then on an ongoing basis, we'll incrementally implement the operations plan and its content. any questions or comments here? Alrighty, let's go on to the next slide, please. I'll turn it back to the chair. Oh, I will still turn it back to the chair.
All right. Thanks. Looks like Tegan had raised her hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to close out with just a few words of thanks for those of you who have been committed to this committee. That was a little bit duplicative, but I know it can be quite a lot of work to participate in another committee, and I know that some of the items were more kind of debate focused, and some of them are a little more administrative. There's quite a range and a lot of work that you've done over these many months. And I'm super proud that we were all able to stay on schedule with our goal of getting this done by the annual meeting. I think that's also something really to celebrate. I also want to commend my staff for working with you all to keep this on target. And lastly, I just want to say, while this is a temporary committee or, it has a time limit on it, it's really interesting because the MOU that is updated, it could possibly be in place for, say, up to like 10 years before it gets significantly updated again. Good. And so it is still a monumentous thing that you've done and has a big impact on the board. I just kind of want to leave you with some of those thoughts, and just again, my thanks for your work in this effort.
Thank you, Tegan. I as part of member items number 8, I also wanted to thank all the committee members of this committee and the ad hoc committee, because it was pretty much everybody. So we've been at this for quite a while, and also all the staff. David was tough; he was a taskmaster. He kept us on schedule. But I really appreciated all the staff's help throughout this, because offline I had a lot of questions and kind of back and forth on things. And I remember last summer an awful lot of homework that was given to us to read. But I do appreciate all the committee members with their thoughtful questions. And I thought we had great attendance throughout all these meetings too, and that helped make things go very smooth. And I was kidding staff the other day, because they kind of wanted me. It's going to be a lot of minutes that we're going to be approving. And I'm like, oh, wow, we're going to be so excited about all this. So, but we got through it pretty fast, Dave. So, but again, I really want to thank everyone. And I appreciate all the help, and look forward to doing it again, maybe in 10 years. Tegan, did you want to do a plug for the annual meeting like you did with me before the meeting, just to remind everybody?
Sure. We don't have an agenda oh, I know what I'm giving a plug on. Yes. Yeah. If you have not filled out the survey asking for your input about topics to have discussed at the annual meeting, please do so. Please recall that the attendance at the annual meeting can look quite different. We've invited and will hopefully have the secretary not only in attendance, but also presiding over the meeting. We'll be looking for some special guests. We'll also have AMPO come and talk to us a bit about sort of the national level approaching reauthorization and the impact for MPOs. We're planning to celebrate a number of the MPO's accomplishments. So we have ideas of what we'd like to do, but we'd really like for you all to emphasize to us the types of conversations that you think might be most meaningful and useful at that scale, at that level of this once a year kind of meeting, to talk about challenges and issues, but also really the opportunities for collaboration that the MPO engages in throughout the year, and all of the deep work that you do throughout the year. If you have told us verbally in the past about things that you'd like to see happen at the annual meeting, please still write them down in this survey. That gives us as staff, kind of the reference point, not just we heard that a board member or board members would like to do X, Y, or Z, but also we can say in a survey, several board members specifically asked for this to happen. And that is useful and less anecdotal for us to be able to relate that. So please fill out the survey. And it took a couple minutes to say that because we had some time, but I hope that really emphasizes to you the importance to us about getting your input on that annual meeting content.
Jen.
Yeah, Thank you. And I will definitely fill out the survey, betraying that I haven't done it yet. But I appreciate the reminders. And also I was curious, I know in last year it might have been a topic before the board of kind of what board members would want to see. So I didn't know if that was also, would the results of the survey then kind of come before the board to prompt a discussion there too?
That's a really good point. I should put that as part of probably my report that I make at the beginning of the next board meeting. David, we should make a note of that. I obviously won't call out that like X board member asked for this specific thing, but just generally speaking, can talk about the things that folks said they were interested in, and then give you all an opportunity to weigh in verbally to either reinforce that or propose something that you didn't have a chance to in the survey. So we can definitely do that at the next meeting next week, I think. And thank you for the reminder, Jen, for that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, any other member items? All right, and Dave, did you want to do the survey piece that you sent out?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we take a brief moment. I was wondering if the link that I shared in the chat, when you click that, does the Team Retro page appear? If it does not, you might have to go back. It may be a hassle, but back to the email inbox, and the sender would probably be Team Retro. Could I get a count of, or like a raised hand if you have any challenges accessing what I'm talking about right now?
Let's see. I don't see it in the chat.
Oh, pardon me. Let me put it back in here.
Oh, there it is. David's asking for an email address and a password.
Is it? I see. All right. We could do one and two things. We can either do this as a more of a verbal exercise. I can share my screen, and
okay.
Lauren and I can capture what is up and do it more of as a manual exercise. Yes, so let me just stand out. Yes, and then I guess if you'd like to kind of just verbally voice what you've enjoyed, or also constructively what could be improved, we'd like to use this. Oh, go ahead, Tegan.
Sorry, I just wanted to call out that I think Jen Rowe popped a link into the chat that did actually work to give people access. So I just wanted to say that out loud so people can try to do that. And you can still do it verbally for those who can't.
Thank you, Jen. So if we want to take a few minutes here just to fill in items, and I can do a readout.
Dave, I'll just do it verbally. As far as enjoying, actually enjoyed working closely with staff. It was kind of get to know people a little bit better, and it was great, kind of going back and forth, and offline, trying to dig into some of the questions that we thought would come up, and to try to get clarity and things like that. So, and then again, I said it earlier, working with the board, great attendance, and I think we got a really well structured document that should last for the next 10 years, hopefully. So yeah, from my end, those are the two things that kind of stood out for me.
And likewise from the staff's point of view, thoroughly enjoyed working with committee members and captured. Thank you. Folks have editability, put items in, or is it locked? Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I just wanted to note, like, I think, like, I had put in some comments, and I think they're showing up, but like in your board, they look like you can't see them. I don't entirely know why, but
Yeah, let me pause sharing and then I'll try to sort out. This is my first time using the tool.
It doesn't seem to have spell check. I'm afraid to type anything because my spelling skills have deteriorated a lot since I've come to rely on spell check so much. It's like, why should I remember how to spell that word when it will spell check it for me? So it's like,
I see John has his hand raised. Go ahead, John.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, so the part I enjoyed the most was being able to take like kind of a comprehensive look at the whole document and not necessarily stripping it all down, but looking at it from A to Z and really bringing it up to the future and reshaping it for, as I think as Tegan said, for like the next 10 years or more maybe. And you don't always get the opportunity, when we sit on boards like the MPO, we don't always get a chance to do that. Look at an important document like this, review it from A to Z and redo the whole thing and bring it up to current day and not only current day, but looking beyond to the next 10 years. So I thought that was pretty cool to do that and pretty important, and working together as a team to do that was pretty exciting, and I'm happy to have been a part of that.
Jen Rowe.
share my comment verbally as well. I really appreciated, I think, the pacing of the decision making across the committee's term. I thought staff did a really great job thinking through in advance kind of what we're likely going to be the what topics we need to address. Of course, like the ad hoc committee did a lot of that, work together too. And then kind of planning ahead for what types of conversations might need to happen and how long those might take, and kind of building in the necessary time so nothing felt too rushed. So I think it's a really good example of being able to like take out something complex and make decisions among a larger group. And maybe we should write down some pointers for the state legislature. We'll settle dig there, but okay.
ooh, oh my goodness, wow. Wow.
Bada bing.
Oh, wow.
I know that I'm brand new basically to the MPO still. And I started only back in the very end of June. So I think I've only been part of some of your meetings. I personally appreciate the fact that we were a smaller grouping, and it has allowed me to get to know some of you better, either one-on-one or even in this group setting, and really provides understanding to what the MPO kind of is and what the MPO does. So I hope that, even this memorandum of understanding can highlight the MPO as a whole.
Thank you. I think too, it's just talking now. The other thing I was glad we were able to do is get items out of the MOU that really did belong in the operations plan, and because I think that just helps make the document more focused on what it really is. So I was kind of glad that we were able to do that also.
So sorry, Tom, could you repeat?
Oh, it was basically, we were able to remove the items that were in the old MOU that really belonged in the ops plan. So I was glad that we were able to, kind of get through all that and move that over. And kind of looks like even though the ops plan was updated recently, this is almost like another update to it. So.
Maybe the comments don't show up until you hit. I'm sorry, I'll raise my hand.
No, go ahead.
I was saying, I think it may be that comments don't show up until you hit I'm finished. But then I'm wondering if you hit I'm finished, does that like kick you out for good?
I don't know. Try it.
I tried that and it didn't seem to
okay.
change anything for me. So I don't know.
All right, that's fine. All right.
Yikes.
It's okay.
So we'll put on could approve. We'll have to just figure out how to use it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know you're learning under the fire, right, Dave?
It's no starfish, but that's okay.
Let me see if I can quickly hit review also.
Oops, that seems to have done something. Oh, okay. Now I see everything. Right. Okay, now I see everything.
The group.
Oh yeah, breaking the work down in modules. Yeah.
Sense of camaraderie. That's a comment. Staff providing content in advance for committee members to review. Jen's comment here before. Attention to detail, remote access. Gotcha. Great. What about in terms of items that we could build on, improve, and we could either club these or treat these separately. These are food for thought for future committee meetings as well, so we would value them, however minor they are. There is possibility that a future event could precipitate an ad hoc committee or otherwise. If you have anything to share here, or we can go backwards and talk about items of use. I'll pause there. Tom?
Go ahead, Jen.
Jen.
Yeah, just a small thing, but I feel like it could be helpful, like for future committees that have a certain length of time to kind of create holds on folks' calendars. At certain regularities of like if we're typically meeting on a Wednesday at 1, like out into the future, and then I think it's always easier to then cancel meetings when not needed than to try to find times that work for everyone. So just could be logistically helpful going forward.
Derek.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. This is like probably grasping at straws here for me, and this might just be a mental block for me at my own purposes, but just more, I guess, like clarity around next steps for the operations plan and how it relates to the MOU. Like that, I feel like I asked a lot of questions about it. Everyone was super helpful in answering the relationship. I just I wasn't sure if this committee had oversight over that or if that's the A&F committee and kind of, I guess, what the interaction was between the two. So when it's presented, it might just be helpful to clarify like which group is going to be taking on next steps for the operations plan update and being very clear about what's part of the MOU versus what's part of that plan. Some of the back and forth on like finishing that sooner and then having it be like updated separately. I think I just had to ask some clarifying questions on that, but otherwise, yeah, I thought everything was great. And kudos to the team for leading a great process. Thank you.
Thanks, Derek. Len.
Yeah, so I have a question because I mean we have kind of humorously said, well, this may be around, we may be dealing with this, have this for the next 10 years, but didn't we, when we were doing the operations plan, kind of commit to doing a review, I mean, every 4 years? I mean, wouldn't that include the MOU?
Yeah, I think you're right, Len.
Okay.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So
So
I guess we should make that clear that we will like, may at least put on the MPO's agenda,
Right.
whether or not to do that review. I think we should at least, we may not have to do the review. We may decide in 4 years, but I think we should seriously consider the merit of doing so, and kind of formalize, like maybe put that on someone's calendar 4 years from now. Huh. How's that, Jen?
We're gonna put it on Jen's for the hold.
Yeah. block out 2028.
No, it's a good point because I do remember that in this. So. Dave.
To respond to Derek's comment, thank you so much. And I'll also make sure to incorporate that point into the board meeting because we will be going through the operations plan. And so that will be, Lauren and I were chatting today, one of the first items, the context sets in terms of how those two interplay. Yeah, comment definitely well taken. And we'll, if it's something of note and, to raise questions here, then it certainly will need to have crystal clarity to the board. And so we'll pause for questions for larger members as well. Thank you, Derek.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. All right, do we have anybody else? I don't see any other hands. Was there, I didn't check the chat. Is there anything in there, Dave?
Oh, Len or others, I think, have just kind of reiterated on the future considerations to make sure to review both documents in a 4-year interval. Thank you.
Sure. And my other future consideration is making Tom Bent the chair maybe the 4 years of the update committees.
Thanks, Len.
Sure, no problem. Happy to do it. Yeah.
We'll see if I'm still here in 4 years. All right. I think, is that pretty much what you're hoping to get out of this, Dave?
Absolutely.
All right, great.
So much.
All right. If we have no other business, anybody else have any other business? I like this tool. I think it's a good idea to kind of kind of go over everything at the end of the process to see what, like you said, what went well, what didn't, and what we can do later on. So I'm going to have you send me over a link to this. I like this. I might be able to use it here. All right, great. Well, again, I wanted to thank everyone. Great job, and look forward to seeing. It's the next meeting. The board meeting's the 19th, right? Great. All right. Thank you. I guess I need a motion to adjourn. Len, go ahead.
So yes, although the acronym TIPPER took me for the TIP, what was it? TIP engagement. Oh my goodness.
Process engagement and readiness.
All muck didn't take on here, but I always lovingly thought of this as the muck. And it's been great being, in the muck with you all, so with that.
I was thinking of it as the moo.
No, because it's just the MOU update committee.
Committee, yeah.
And so it's one of those recursive acronyms which we get in biology a lot, which works for the TIPPER too. So I always lovingly thought of it as the muck. I didn't want to push it. But anyways, it's been great. So with that, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We don't need a roll call for that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.